Hey, it's Troy here. I want to take a real quick minute to do a couple of things. Number one is to thank you. Thank you for watching my channel and my videos and helping the channel to grow. And speaking of helping it grow, I would greatly appreciate if you would just hit the subscribe button. If you're not already a subscriber to this channel, that'll help me to keep content coming to you here on YouTube. Also, if you want to help this channel continue to thrive and get the word out, I have some t-shirts, fountainpenfanatic.com, which is a URL to this channel. T-shirts available for you at about the lowest price that I can possibly charge for them with the manufacturer that I'm using. That'll get you a great quality t-shirt and will help get the word out about this particular channel. And also discount codes. Look in the video description all the time for on every video for a discount code to go purchase pens at a marked discount for you, simply for being a viewer and subscriber to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the kind words and the feedback that I get from you, my viewers. Hey guys, it's Troy, and you know, some of my favorite pens that are out there and that are in my collection are bigger, oversized, chunkier pens. I love the way they feel in the hand. I love how they write usually, and I like how they just are good, solid pens in my hand. I just like that. Well, that doesn't mean that I don't like pens on the other end of the spectrum. I'm not a real big fan of pocket pens. I got some that are okay, but how about really thin pens? Some people absolutely hate really thin pens. I don't mind them. I'll use them, and I picked up one that was kind of intriguing only because I did not own one of its brand. The Élysée. There are some that are out there. The Élysée is their model, not this one. Élysée is the brand of the pen, and this particular pen probably manufactured in the 1980s. One of the hints to that is it says made in West Germany. Now, obviously, prior to the fall of the Berlin Wall and prior to the reunification of Germany. So, with that designation, I know that this probably came 70s, 80s, somewhere in there possibly. Élysée. The particular word refers to Elysium. Let's see, the mythical fields where you would go if you were to die. Kind of what some people would consider to be heaven in the afterlife would be Elysium. So that's what Élysée refers to. They didn't make a whole lot of pens, and I can't find a whole lot of great research on them. I will post a link in the video description to a page that somebody did that was a fairly decent listing or description of the Élysée pen company from West Germany. But this one made its way into my collection not too long ago, and I've had it inked up and have been using it, so I figured I'd go ahead and share it with you. I do have a couple of other very thin pens that were in my collection. The first of which was this, a Waterman Executive, very thin pen, and at the time was one of the thinnest that I owned. So I'll set that right next to it. You can see that there is a slight difference in length, and just the Élysée is a little more slender than the Waterman. And I got this one. This one is an Omos Recinamento. Gotta be honest, it's probably the least favorite Omos in my collection, and not because of the fact that it's thin, but because of how it writes. So this particular pen, you can see how that looks. But didn't think it was a great writing pen. I was a little disappointed in this, so I'll put that right here next to the others so you can see Slender pens were kind of a thing in around the 1980s. So I'll set these aside. Neither one of those are inked, by the way, so I won't show you how they write. This one in particular is. So you look on the clip right there. I don't know how well you can pick that up, but it does say Élysée right on the clip. And I'll show you some of the other markings. I get some better close-up pictures than that. This is a metal pen with a black lacquered finish. You can see some of the finish was kind of worn here, obviously, because of the age of the pen. I was able to pick it up only used, not new, old stock or anything like that, and it had been decently used by its previous owner. Pull it off, and you can post it, and post it very nicely, but when I say nicely, it slides on, but it doesn't stay on. So you're not going to post this particular pen. Hold it in the hand. It is long enough not to have to post it. But one of the things about gripping it, my fingers pretty much wrap around entirely that section. It's got a nice long slender section. And you saw the nib style earlier that I shared with you. Well, it's a very similar nib style to that Omos. So, it is a cartridge converter pen. I will tell you that I do not have any converters that I found that would fit in this particular pen that would go down and seat nicely. So I just pulled out a random ink cartridge, Standard International, and got it seated inside. I don't have any longer cartridges, although there's a good amount of room, but the barrel does taper down here, which would make it a little more difficult to have a cartridge that was that same girth all the way down. So I've got, like I said, no real information on this particular pen or this model whatsoever, but I will show you a little bit about how it writes. So this one is the Élysée, a West German pen. It's got a fine nib to it. It is a fairly smooth pen. When I first got it, I had to flush it out really, really well because the previous owner had left a bunch of ink in it, so I got a bunch of crud off from it. There was some crud buildup here around that far end gold band just ahead of that nib. But I was able to get it all cleaned up there, and I did not go ahead and do anything to it as far as polishing it, as far as waxing it or anything like that. I just cleaned it up really well. So this particular pen is okay. If you like, like my son would say, if you like really slender pens. This one's been reliable since I've had it. I've got no complaints about that whatsoever. It's got just a little bit of line variation to it. It's nothing special. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but it actually does not, it's not a very wet writer at all. Not at all. But it has been reliable. I mean, every time I've picked it up to go to write with it, ever since I've had it inked up, ever since I went ahead and got that cartridge in there and ink flowing to it, it's been very good in terms of its reliability. And therefore, I put it to use an awful lot since I've gotten it. So, Elysium Pen Company. Nice. I love the nice crisp snap on that. So there's an idea for you. You can find these online, and sometimes you can find them more expensive than others, better conditions than others, but overall, not a bad edition. Not my favorite edition, definitely not my least favorite, but I do like a reliable pen, even if it is a nice slender one.